This
based on
conference will now
the
be recorded.
this classification is totally based on skill levels. Core Python and advanced Python both together is your complete Python. Core Python gives you basic programming knowledge like understanding variables, data types, operations, strings, control structures, data structures, functions. This kind of basic programming knowledge is given in Core Python. Advanced Python includes the comprehension techniques, functional programming, object-oriented programming, and also the packages, modules, packages, making our own user-defined modules and packages, file handling, serialization, okay, database connectivities, regular expressions, multi-threading, Python. Both together is your complete Python language. So totally we are learning Python to become as a Python programmer. In addition to that, nowadays most of the people are asking Python for the data analytics and data science career support. By keeping those people in the mind, in addition to the Python language, we do provide data analytics with Python. Here mainly we do cover three modules. One is NumPy. NumPy is a module that is numerical Python, totally deal with numerical operations. And Pandas is the second module. Pandas is for data processing and data migration. Third module is Matplotlib. Matplotlib is for data visualization. These are the three modules for the data analytics. Without any data science knowledge, we can work with the data analytics. But these three modules are essential and important modules for the data science people also. So this is what the complete course coverage. This is what we discuss as part of our course. So today I will begin with the total basic story about Python. We try to understand what is Python, why Python, about the programming languages, features of the Python application areas, history of the Python. And also today we complete installation of the Python and the Python tools also in your systems. So this is what we are going to understand today. So today, everywhere, the very first question is, what is Python? So we are going to learn Python. So what is Python? Is it a scripting language or is it a programming language? This is what very first question. Because if you ask anyone, somebody says Python is a scripting language, somebody says Python is a programming language. What exactly the Python is? Is it scripting language or is it a programming language? Python is considered, most of the people consider Python as a scripting language due to historical blur between the scripting languages and general purpose programming languages. In fact, Python is not a scripting language. Python is a general purpose programming language. Please remember, Python itself is not a scripting language. It is a general purpose programming language. This can also work as a scripting language. You can also use Python as a scripting language. A general purpose programming language, we can use it as a scripting language also. That's why most of the times the people uses Python for the scripting purpose. That's why they use, mostly they say Python is scripting language, but it is not a scripting language. It is a general purpose programming language. So here you can have a question, what is scripting language? What is programming language? What is difference? Scripting language is also a variety of programming language. It is lightweight, liberal, less code intensive programming language. So it is simple and easy. Mainly, scripting languages are made for even a non-programmers can be able to write the programs. For that easiness, a lightweight programming language is given that is liberal and less code intensive. Such programming languages are scripting languages. Mostly scripting languages are used for automation purpose to develop the automation scripts. These scripting languages are not useful for software development, application development purpose. We can't use these scripting languages. It is only for automation. Maybe the system task automation, network task automation, process automation, any application or any tool, the task automation. Okay, like this, for any kind of automation scripts we can develop. The examples, VB script, JavaScript, Perl script, Ruby, these all are the scripting languages. Programming languages are mainly for developing the softwares, whether you want to develop your own browser, you want to develop games, gaming logics, if you want to develop a business applications or any softwares like word processors, spreadsheets, or any kind of office tools, messengers, any kind of software you want to develop, creating new software, new functionality, new features can be done with programming languages. The C, C++, Java, C Sharp, COBOL, Fortran, Pascal, Python, this all comes under programming languages. Okay, this is just understanding what is scripting languages and what is programming languages. When we are talking about programming languages, definitely we have to understand the levels of programming languages. We know very well the low level programming languages and high level programming languages. Your computer hardware can understand only low level code, that is what known as machine code. So low level programming languages are close to hardware. Your hardware, your microprocessor can understand the low level code, that is machine code. This can directly run on the processor. But writing the programs, developing the tasks in low level programming, the binary language is a low level programming language. Assembly language is a low level programming language. This makes the machine code, hardware understandable code. Directly writing the code, developing the programs in low level is very difficult. It is impossible, almost impossible for the human being. With a great difficulty also you want to develop, you have to remember a lot of technical details of the hardware, then only you can directly work with low level. It is a tedious job. That's why high level programming languages are given. low-level programming languages, the low-level code is understandable to hardware. So it is not comfortable for the human being. That's why high-level code is given. It is in human English. High-level code is in human English. The commands given in the high-level programming languages are in human English so that the human being, the programmer, can easily write the programs, write the code. Program is group of instructions. Easily you can write the programs. This high-level programming languages provides a strong abstraction. This hides all the machine level complexities from the programmer. Programmer need not to worry about hardware, its technical details, need not to worry about memory, need not to worry about process, all the internal things you need not to worry. Just by using the commands provided by the language, just easily you can write the programs. This is your program. Human being write the program. But this high level code is not understandable to hardware. The low level code is not understandable to human being. The human being developed the program in high level. This should be translated to the low level. The high level program which you developed must be translated into low level code. Then it is understandable to hardware. Hardware will process it and gives you output in low level. It should be translated again to the human understandable and gives you output. This translation process can be done in two different ways. One is by using interpreter, second one is by using compiler. Here you have to understand that couple of languages are compiler based programming languages, couple of languages are interpreter based programming languages, but our Python is completely interpreter based programming language. Python is not a compiler based programming language. Python is interpreter based programming language. This is just understanding about high level programming languages and low level programming languages. Just quickly go through this comparison. High level languages are programmer friendly. Low level languages are machine friendly. Low level languages are high memory efficient comparatively high level. High level languages are less memory efficient comparatively low level. So high level languages are easy to understand, is simple to debug, simple to maintain the code. They are portable, can run on any platform. High level language written programs can support any platform, Windows, Mac OS, Linux, any operating system. So low level languages are very difficult to write the code, complex to debug the code, very difficult to maintain the code. It is a hardware dependent, machine dependent, so they are not portable. Assembly language is required assembler for translation, but high level languages needs either compiler or interpreter. Very simple to understand. The high level code using compiler, it is translated into low level code so that hardware can understand and execute it. The interpreter is directly translates and executes and gives you output. I'll clearly tell you about the compiler and interpreter differences by comparing the C++ architecture of compilation and Java C# architecture of compilation and Python as an interpreter, how it is better than the Java C# process. The architectural level comparison I will discuss later, don't worry. So mainly the point is here, high level programming languages are either compiler based programming languages or interpreter based programming languages. Python is interpreter based programming language. This is main thing. Here we have one more thing, that is a very high level programming languages. Actually, Python comes under very high level programming languages. What is this very high level? Generally, we doesn't call it as a very high level. Commonly, we call it as a high level programming languages only. But these are intelligent programming languages, something like human being, intelligent human being. Intelligent human being is not a separate variety of animal. That is also a common human being animal, right? But something smart than the common human being. Similarly, this very high level programming languages gives you very high level of abstraction, more abstraction. They are not only hiding the machine level complexities, these very high level programming languages also hiding logic development complexities. Not only hiding machine level complexities, also hiding logic development complexities. So mainly, what is the main skill of a programmer? Programmer must be capable of developing, creating, programming logics well. Logic development skill is the major main skill of a programmer. Generally, the programmer is very busy in writing the code, developing the logics for the algorithms and the formulas. So generally, the business requirement is given by the business users. We are developing automized solution for the business requirement. So behind every business requirement, we have some formulas given to us, some algorithms are given to us. The programmer is very responsible to develop the logics. He is always very busy in writing the code, developing thousands of lines of code. The Python as a very high level programming languages, it reduces the number of lines of code, it reduces complexity, it simplifies the logic development complexity. So we need not to develop the complicated logics. Generally, everyone says Python is very easy language. What way Python is easy? Generally, everyone compare with Java, C Sharp. If you want to develop a task, if you develop the task in Java, suppose it takes 300 lines of code in Java. The same task you can develop in Python within 25 to 30 lines of code. So Python is that easy. This is what they say. But if you understand, in Python, the 25 to 30 lines of code which you developed is processing 300 lines worth of logic, right? Lot of things are automatically done by the Python language powerfully. So it reduced the logic development burden on the programmer. So programmer can easily write the code. These languages are goal-oriented programming languages. The complexity of the logic, amount of source code required is reduced. Okay. Is everyone is facing the same problem? Ravi is telling that my voice is breaking. For everyone, is my voice clear? Or any difficulty you are facing?
Yes, it is clear. No problem.
I think Ravi's network might be creating trouble. Okay, fine. Let us continue. So this is what about very high level programming languages. Python is actually comes under this category. very high level programming language. Python is a very high level programming language. Now, what is Python? Python is very easy language, very high level programming language. It is a general purpose programming language. This can also work as a scripting language. This is very easy like a scripting language. Right from the beginning, I'm telling Python is a general purpose programming language. What do you mean, general purpose programming language? General purpose programming language is nothing but multi-purpose programming language and multi-paradigm. The multi-purpose and multi-paradigm. What do you mean multi-purpose programming languages? Once you understand here, the language which can fulfill more than one purpose is what multi-purpose. There are several languages meant for a particular purpose, specific purpose. Couple of languages are exclusively meant for mathematical calculations. Couple of languages are exclusively meant for research work. Couple of languages exclusively meant for application development. Of course, you people might know about PHP. PHP is only for developing web applications. You know, the old outdated languages like Visual Basic 6, VB6, VB5, VB6, these languages from the Oracle Corporation Developer 2000. These languages are exclusively meant for developing the Windows-based GUI applications, the desktop applications. C language, what purpose we are using C language? Of course, in the C language, we can do anything. Even Python is developed in a C language. But mostly nowadays, C language used for low level purpose, chip level coding, okay, hardware level, and embedded systems, developing the hardware specific operating software. These kind of things we are using. But Python is multi-purpose. Using Python, we can develop the software applications, we can use mathematical calculations and research work for the scientific applications we can use. So the language which can fulfill more than one purpose is known as a multi-purpose. The programming languages which can fulfill needs of wide variety of domains and technologies are called general purpose programming languages. Python is a general purpose programming language. So ultimately our question would be here, what purpose we can use Python? Why do we use Python? What are the Python application areas? Once we understand, we can use Python to develop web applications. For the web application development, we can use Python. Here, Python is the language to write the code and develop logics. Django is the web development framework. We have Python web development frameworks. Django is one of the framework. Flask is another framework. Web2Py is another framework. Like this, we have Python web development frameworks. With the help of any one of the Python web development frameworks, we can develop web applications, but Python is the language. What do you say about Java? Is the Java used to develop web applications? About C Sharp. Is the C Sharp used to develop web applications? What do you say, guys? Mostly we say Java is for web development. C Sharp is for web development, right? But using Java language,
Yes.
we
Yeah.
can't develop web applications. For that, Java server pages, servlets, these things are required in addition. C# cannot develop web applications. For that, we required ASP.NET. Those are technologies. But here Python is the language along with when we use Python in the Django framework, web development framework, using the framework, we can develop web applications. Here also framework is required. And using Python, we can develop desktop applications, graphical user interface desktop applications. So the window, inside the window, we do have text boxes, list boxes, radio buttons, and operated event-driven programming. We can develop that applications in Python using tkinter library. Python gives you a built-in library that is tkinter. With the help of that, we are able to develop desktop applications, GUI, graphical user interface desktop application. In Java and C# also, we do have a package that is AWK, Active Windows Toolkit. With the help of that library only, we can develop GUI applications even in Java and C#. Similarly, here is the library tkinter. And Python we can use for automation purpose. All kind of automation scripts we can develop using Python. Python can be used for data analytics purpose. Already I told you NumPy is the library for numerical processing. Pandas is the library for data processing and data migration. Matplotlib is the library for data visualization. Nowadays, you know, the Tableau is one of the BI tool for the visualization, developing the visualized reports. Power BI is also for data visualization to develop the visualized reports like line charts, bar charts, pie charts, histograms, key performance indicators, etc. Those all things we can develop in Python using Matplotlib library. For this, the analytical data must be ready. Analytical data and descriptive data must be ready. Converting your business transactional data into analytical data can be done using pandas. Mostly numerical processing, numerical values are required for generating the graphs. Preparing the numerical data can be done by NumPy. This is analytics modules. So using Python, with the help of these analytics modules, we can make data analytics. And using Python, we can develop scientific applications. The library is SciPy. SciPy is the library. Simply to say, NASA is using Python for their scientific task development. NASA is using Python for their scientific task development. NASA kind of research organizations, nowadays most of the research organizations are using Python for their scientific task development. To develop the scientific applications, we use SciPy is the library, scientific Python. And testing purpose, of course, one or two of you from the testing knowledge also. Earlier days, Perl script we use for test automation scripting purpose. Perl script we was using. Nowadays, everyone is asking to develop the test scripts using Python. You know, Selenium is the functional automation testing tool. Earlier days, we was using Java programming, JavaScript, Java as a automation test script language in Selenium. But nowadays, everyone is asking for Selenium with Python. So Python you can use as a test scripting language to develop the automation testing scripts. You can use Python as a automational functional testing script for the Selenium. So we can use it for test automation. System administration, task automation scripting we can develop. Network scripting we can develop. Gaming script we can develop. Animation, motion scripts we can develop using Python. Not only this, Python can be used for big data and data science. So what are the big data technologies? Hadoop is a big data technology. In Hadoop, we do develop MapReduce programs. Basically, Java, the big Hadoop people was using Java. But nowadays, PyHadoop is the library Python gives you. They do develop the Hadoop scripts using Python with the help of PyHadoop library. Spark is another big data technology. The advanced big data technology over Hadoop is Spark technology. You might listen the name Spark and Scala. Scala is the language mostly the big data Spark people will be using, maybe using. But nowadays they are working with Python with the help of library PySpark. Spark technology people also using Python programming with the help of their library. Spark technology compatibility purpose, they do use the PySpark library. So for the big data analytics, we can use Python. Data science, what is data science? Data engineering, data analytics, data visualization, mathematics, statistics, science, and technology. All together is the data science. Not only this, in data science, we do machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, neural networks, natural languages. These all are part of data science. So it depends on the situation. The data science people uses different libraries. Essential libraries are NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, SciPy. And for the machine learning, they are using TensorFlow, scikit-learn, this kind of Python libraries they are using. So data science people are widely using Python. And DevOps is a process, is a development culture to manage the development and IT operations both together. Of course, DevOps, they use their different tools. But end-to-end process automation scripting can be done using Python. AWS people, cloud engineers, to maintain the cloud, creating the public cloud instances, private cloud instances, and configuring those instances, creating the services, microservices, and configuring those services, start them, stop them, upgrade them. These all things can be done on the cloud with the cloud communication. For the cloud communication, if you want to develop the script, Python provides you the library that is Boto 3. Boto is the library. Python 3 version compatible is by Boto 3. Boto 3 is the library. And the Internet of Things, this is communicating the devices across various varieties of devices, across various varieties of networks. This is again a networking mechanism. And blockchain is cryptography. This blockchain is very popular due to Bitcoin. This is cryptography. So for the networking and cryptography also we have Python modules and we can work with Python. These are the couple of popular technologies where the Python is widely using, and Python, these are the mainly Python application areas. Of course, there are several other situations also we do use Python. So nowadays Python become one of the essential technology, essential skill for every software engineer, for every IT engineer. If you want to become as a blockchain engineer, of course, blockchain is not enough. Definitely you require Python programming skills. IoT engineer, definitely required Python skills. AWS cloud engineer, definitely required Python skills. DevOps engineer, definitely required Python skills. Data scientist, data engineer or data scientist, definitely they needed Python language. Big data analyst, big data engineer, definitely required Python knowledge. Web developer, definitely required Python. Test engineer, definitely required Python. System administrator, definitely required Python. Network engineer, definitely required Python, right? So nowadays Python become one of the essential skill for every software engineer, every IT engineer, right? These are the, so here we have to agree that Python is multi-purpose. Python is multi-purpose, supports multiple technologies and multiple domains. Simply to say, if you want to develop a software application for the chemical industry, chemical industry in the sense, it's not like office administration, office activities automation, not such kind of software. It includes the chemical processing, molecules, liquids, solids, etc. These all, right? So the chemicals changes their states and their formulas. These all things include, you want to develop a software. It is naturally impossible for a software developer. Why? Because you might be expert in Java, you might be expert in C#, you might be expertised programmer, but without having the chemical domain knowledge, you can't develop the software for the chemical industry. Obtaining that chemical domain knowledge is not that easy. You need to become as a chemist again. But Python programmer can develop that very easily because the readily available library is available, that is ChemPy, chemical Python. Who is having the chemical domain expertism, they already developed those formulas and those packages are readily developed. So just with the little understanding about the chemical domain, we can easily develop the software for chemical industry. This is just for example. Like this, we have several libraries for the different domains. So here Python is not only multi-purpose, it is multi-paradigm too. What do you mean paradigm? Paradigm is approach of writing the code, the style of writing the code, programming methodology is what a paradigm. There are several programming paradigms are available. One is procedural programming paradigm. C language supports procedural programming approach only. So C language is the best example for the procedural programming language. Object-oriented programming paradigm. Of course, procedural programming, we write the program. The program will be executed from the first line to last line in top-down approach. Here we make use of variables and program logic control structures, if statement, for loop, etc. For the reusability, hardly we will use functions. That's it. Very simple approach of writing the programs is procedural programming. C language uses this, and almost all scripting languages follows the procedural programming paradigm. Object-oriented programming approach. Object-oriented programming paradigm is a little different. Here you need to deal with the objects. You have to make user-defined objects. The object contains its own attributes and behaviors. So by following object-oriented programming principles, you have to develop the programs. The object-oriented programming principles such as encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, mainly three. Of course, the people says a big list, 7 or 9, including data binding, data abstraction, data hiding, class, object, encapsulation. Of course, encapsulation is the concept. Data binding and data abstraction both includes abstraction, this encapsulation. Data hiding is part of data abstraction. Practical implementation of this is class and object. Okay, so encapsulation is the main concept. Next, polymorphism, overloading, overriding actually comes under polymorphism. Inheritance, deriving one object into another object, the features of object into another object, that is inheritance. So by following this object-oriented programming principles, developing the code, its style is different, its approach is different. This is object-oriented programming paradigm. The languages supports this object-oriented programming paradigm is known as object-oriented programming languages. C++ language supports procedural programming as well object-oriented programming, both. Java supports only object-oriented programming. C# supports only object-oriented programming. And another one is a functional programming paradigm. The languages supports functional programming is functional programming languages. You know, mostly the Spark technology people uses Scala language. Scala language. The Scala language is a functional programming language. Data science people uses R language. R language is a functional programming language. These functional programming languages supports objects. In functional programming languages, everything is an object, no primitives. Primitives are not available in functional programming languages. In functional programming languages, everything is an object. These functional programming languages contains mainly two varieties of objects. It supports two different varieties of objects. One is immutable objects, second one is mutable. The immutable objects, the object does not support changing its content, is what immutable. So you can't modify the content of the object, that is immutable. Mutable, the object allow changing its content is mutable. So mainly it supports these two variety of objects. Of course, please do not confuse. The people who already know other languages, those people used to confuse here. Generally, they do compare with variables and static variables. Variables can be modified. Static variable does not allow modification. It's not like that. That concept is different and this concept is different. Very detailed I will explain in the Python memory model. What is this mutable objects and immutable objects? What the memory model of the functional programming languages are immutability based memory model. So this approach is of course easy only, but little different comparatively. This is functional programming paradigm. Python supports procedural programming. You can use Python as a procedural programming language to simply develop your procedural programs. Python supports object-oriented programming. You can use Python as an object-oriented programming language to develop your object-oriented programs. You can also use Python as a functional programming language for the function. That's why the Python is suitable for the big data analytics purpose and data science purpose, because it is a functional programming language too, and also it supports modularity, modular programming paradigm. It is very simple. Instead of writing thousands of lines of code, we split the code into small parts, multiple programs. Reuse those programs in each other, build all together integrated package. That is what modular programming. Actually, the modular approach programming language is Modula. Nowadays, almost all programming languages supports this modularity. And Python is very easy programming, such as scripting languages, just like scripting languages. So Python supports this all, and all features together, all approaches together also you can write a program in Python. So Python is multi-paradigm. Python is multi-purpose, multi-paradigm, interpreter-based programming language. Python provides two different ways of working with Python. You can work with Python in two different modes. One is interactive mode. Second one is script mode. What is interactive mode? Just like command prompt, console. So Python gives you the console, Python prompt. At the prompt, you can execute a command that will be processed immediately, and instant result will be given. It is just like your command prompt. And Python also supports working in script mode. Script mode is nothing but programming mode or batch mode. Write a program, save the program, run the program. That is what script mode. Python supports these two different modes. Originally, Java does not have interactive mode support earlier. Java is inspired by Python. So since Java 9, the Java is also giving Java console interactive mode facility. But right from the beginning, Python has these two facilities, working in interactive mode and also working in a script mode, both the modes. And Python is a complete 100% pure object-oriented programming language. Okay. What do you mean to say pure object-oriented programming language? What's about Java? What's about C#? Java supports object-oriented programming. Java contains primitive also. There are so many non-object oriented components Java utilizes, C# utilizes. It supports only object oriented paradigm, but Java internals and Java components all together, if you see, it is not pure object oriented, not 100% object oriented. But in Python, everything is an object, no primitives, nothing, because it's supposed to be a functional programming language too. That's why in Python, everything is an object, no primitives. A fully complete, pure object-oriented programming language, Python, allow you to write programs in procedural programming approach, functional programming approach, object-oriented programming approach, and modularity. This can also work as a scripting language. That is the greatness of the Python. It is a very high-level programming language which is used in wide varieties of application. This is all about Python. Just you see the features of Python. Python is very high level programming language. We already understood. Python is interpreter based programming language. Python is multi-purpose. Python is multi-paradigm. Python is extensible. Yes. Basically, Python is developed in a C language. So Python language, generally we do call it as a C Python. So Python is extensible to C language. The C developed programs you can incorporate into Python programs. You can run it like a Python project. So Python is extensible to C language. There is another distribution of the Python that is known as Jython. Jython. Either somebody call it as Jython, JPython, Java Python, whatever you call. The Python interpreter can talk to Java virtual machine, so that you got a facility of incorporating the Java programs into Python programs, make it like a Python project, run it like a Python project. So with the help of Jython, of course, Python is Python. Python interpreter is Python language only, nothing different. but the specialty is that can talk to the Java virtual machine. So you can extend to the Java. Python can be extensible to Java. Similarly, Iron Python, .NET purpose. So Python can be extensible to .NET, C#, Ruby Python. Like this, various distributions are there. What is the benefit here? Suppose already so many years ago, you developed an application. Since so many years, that organization was working with a Java project, Java application. Now they want to migrate into Python. So they need not to redevelop all programs in Python. What are the programs migration is required? Of course, they do redevelop it. But what are the programs are perfectly working for them? You need not to rewrite. Just use the same programs in Python also. Python can run them with the help of communication with the Java virtual machine. That way it is benefitable. So Python is extensible. I hope all of you understand this. And Python is scalable. Scalable in the sense most of the people go with the hardware level scalability. But Python is a software. Python is a programming language. It is a software. As a software, it provides perfect software level scalability. Whether your number of users might be increased over a period. Over a period, volume of data to be processed might be increased. Over a period, the sizes of values to be processed might be increased. Python is stable enough to process them. The best example is in C, C++, Java, C#. For every data type, there is a limit, 2 bytes or 4 bytes like this. If your value size become very bigger than that, of course, you have to change the code. You have to migrate it to the compatible for the new values by changing the data types, etc. Python is not like this. Python provides unlimited memory access. So it is scalable for all the situations. The best example I will show you practically to understand Python is scalable. Here Python is already installed in my system. I am opening Python console. Here you see A is equal to 123. It is a very small value, right? A is 123. It is a small value. This is A. A is equal to A multiply with 7. Of course, very small calculation done quickly. 861 is the value. Now A is equal to A to the power of 123. 861 to the power of 123. Of course, reasonably big calculation. See, quickly it is performed, and this is the output. This is just a number. This is just a number. A is equal to, again, A to the power of 123. This number to the power of 123, really complex, big calculation. Now you see, quickly it is done. How quickly it is completed, you observe. Now see the A value. See, very big. You are not watching Matrix movie. This is a number. Okay. How big number it is, you see. Okay. Even you can observe the scroll bar, how bigger number it is. So Python can handle anything, but still the data type is integer only. If you observe type of A, still it is simple integer only, right? So here you can understand Python is scalable. Okay. So Python is scalable and Python is portable. So the Python developed program can run directly on any operating system wherever Python interpreter is there. Windows, Mac OS, Linux, any operating system. Python is portable. Python is embeddable. Python language can be embedded into our tools. Suppose I am developing a software, in my software scripting facility is required. I can embed my Python into my software, my tool, my platform, wherever I want. So Python is embeddable. Python is simple. It is easy to learn, easy to read, easy to write the code, easy to maintain the code. Python commands are self-expressive. So the easy to read. Python supports interactive mode and script mode. Already we understood. Python is a dynamically typed programming language. It works on dynamic semantics. In this perspective, we have to understand the programming languages can be classified into two types. One is static data type supporting languages, static data type supporting programming languages. Second one is dynamically typed programming languages. C, C++, Java, C#, these all comes under category static data type supporting programming languages. Python is dynamically typed programming language because in a C, C++, Java, these languages, you must declare a variable. First of all, you have to declare a variable with a data type. Then only you can use the variable. Directly you can't use the variable. Explicit declaration of variable is mandatory. But in Python, you must not declare variable. At the time of assigning the value, automatically variable is created and it decides its nature and work with. It works on dynamic semantics. So Python is a dynamically typed programming language. And Python gives you large standard libraries. As of now, approximately more than 130,000 libraries are available for the support of various technologies and various domains. That is the strength of the Python. As I told you, for the chemical industry purpose, ChemPy is the library. And already I told you for various technologies, what are the different libraries are useful. So when I am telling this, one of my old student was asking me a question, sir, should I learn all the 130,000 libraries? No, really not required here. Even though you want to learn, it is impossible. Per day, one library, if you learn, 130,000 days are required. That is 300 years. Okay. Depends on the technology, depends on the domain, depends on the project in which you are contributing. Maybe 2 or 3 libraries you might be required. So depends on the situation. You have to just upgrade yourself for the 1 or 2 libraries and learn and grow. That's how Python programmer should work, even though you are changing the technology or whatever situation. Okay. So this is the great strength of the Python. Python is completely free. Python is open source. Source code of the Python language is also open for you. Please remember this point. Java is free, but Java is not open source. Java language is asset of the Oracle Corporation nowadays. Formerly, it is Sun Microsystems. But Java is not open source. But Java is free. But Python is free and as well it is completely open source. You can download source code of the Python. You can do the significant changes in the Python language source code. You can distribute your own Python like Lucid Python, Srini Python. Yes, you can make it if you want really. So here simply I want to conclude. Of course, here I am showing only few company names, but nowadays almost all companies, almost all projects, either partially or fully, either as a scripting language or as a programming language, Some have, they are using Python. Almost all projects nowadays making use of Python, some have. NASA is using Python for their scientific task developments. Google is heavily funded on Python. Google is using Python for their web searching algorithms, Google Analytics, so on. And YouTube is using Python for video sharing algorithms, video analytics, monetization algorithms, etc. Instagram is totally developed in Python. It is a Python developed. And Dropbox, you know, Dropbox, centralized shared storage. So Dropbox server side script and client interface both are developed in Python. BitTorrent is a peer-to-peer file transfer system. BitTorrent is developed in Python. So the companies like Yahoo, Facebook, IBM, Amazon, BBC, Netflix, these companies are using Python significantly. NSA, National Security Agency of America, is using Python for cryptography and intelligence analysis. Okay. So this is the usage of Python for various technologies, various purpose. We are using Python nowadays. This is about Python. So far, a guess is more than 5,000 programming languages are available. Still the count is increasing. So since couple of years, Python stands in #1 place in top 10 programming languages. Of course, I need not to explain this because Python is multi-purpose, multi-paradigm, supports multiple technologies. With different purpose we can use it. And simply you can browse the net top 10 programming languages in 2020, top 10 programming languages in 2019, top 10 programming languages in 2015. You can browse and you can know how the ranking is changing, right? Since couple of years, Python stands in #1 place. Once quickly understand history of Python. So Mr. Guido van Rossum, who is creator of Python, Mr. Guido van Rossum, who is creator of Python. Of course, Google is heavily funded for the growth of the Python. At present, Rossum is working in Google. Of course, he is the president of Python Software Foundation. So Python concept was Python was conceptualized by Guido van Rossum in late 1980s. The Python language development is implementation is in 1989. The very first version of the Python is released to the public in 1991 at CWI Netherlands. The version is 0.9.0. Of course, before Python development, Rossum was developed another language called ABC programming language as a general purpose programming language. After success of ABC general purpose programming language development, Rossum started developing the language Python in CWA Netherlands, released in 1991. Here, what is the reason behind a name given as a Python, the snake name? Generally, there is no technical reason behind the names given. Of course, comparatively, if you understand big data technology, Hadoop, Mr. Duck Cutting is the creator or developer of the Hadoop. Of course, Duck Cutting team developed Hadoop technology. The project name is Nutch project. The Duck Cutting has a small son. At the time, even he's very small kid, not even able to speak properly. Whenever that kid feel hungry, he used to ask his parents nuts, like Nutch. So father likes that pronunciation. So the project name is Nutch project. Hadoop is the elephant toy of the same kid. that is the elephant toy name they have given in-house is the Hadoop. Of course, the father duck cutting created a technology. The technology name is Hadoop, and the logo is elephant toy. You know Java language. What is the name, secret behind the name Java? It's a coffee cup. Java team likes a variety of coffee. The name is Java. That's why the language name is given as Java. So here, Mr. Rossum, the Python creator, Mr. Guido van Rossum, is a big fan of a Russian flying circus comedy show named Monty Python, which was telecasted in BBC. He's a big fan of the show Monty Python's. He has taken the name from that. The Python is the name taken from that. Of course, this is Rossum point of view, but Python is the dictionary word. It represents a snake. Okay, that's why logo is like this. This is just for understanding. But once you understand Python versions, the very first version 0.9.0 was released in 1991. After that, stable version of the Python 1.0 was released in 1994. Then 2.0, Python 2.0 was released in 2000. Of course, the subsequent versions are there, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, so on. In year 2000, 2.0 is released. After that, subsequent versions 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, so on. But in the year 2008, Python version 3 is released. Here is the dramatical change is taken place. In year 2008, they released Python 3. This Python 3 is totally redeveloped from the scratch. Python 3 is totally redeveloped from the scratch. Lot of new features are included, new commands are included, lot of existing commands are discarded, syntax has been changed. Okay, so this Python 3.0 is not supporting previous version developed programs. Backward compatibility is missing. Since year 2000, Python 2 series is running. In year 2008, 3 series is introduced. This Python 3 is not supporting previously developed programs. Without changes, you can't develop that applications in Python 3. You have to migrate those programs to Python 3. So the Python people continued Python 2 series and as well Python 3 series, both parallelly. That's why Python 2 series, Python 3 series, when somebody is talking, are you working with Python 2 or Python 3 like that? Of course, nowadays, no one will ask you. So far, that was happened. So these people continued Python 2 series and keep on releasing the upgraded versions of the Python 2 series. The last version of the Python 2 series is Python 2.7.18. Of course, after 2020, they stopped supporting Python 2, migrating and supporting us also they stopped because after more than a decade, since 2008, as of now, more than a decade, they supported Python 2, so they stopped it. Nowadays, Python 3 only in the use. So we will be working in Python 3 only. The latest version of the Python 3 is Python 3.9.4, which is recently released just before 1 month. This is just version history of the Python. Don't worry, at present we are working with the Python 3 series. Python 3 series, latest version we are working with. Once you understand, here the question is, somebody was really asked me and I answered that, then only I understood this perspective. Python is older than Java. Python is not a new language. Python is not a recently released language or new language. Python was exist since so many years. This is older than Java. Java was released in 1995. Python released in 1991, very first version. But why Python is not popular these many days, these many years? Java become really popular. But recently, why Python become popular and it is even dominating Java? What is the reason? Very simple reason. Python is open source. Python is open source. Our software industry, the software guys, they don't want to adopt the open source technologies that quickly unless they are proven. Okay. The reason is in open source, there are several wonderful technologies are given, but the open source communities don't provide the support. If you ask support to them, already source code is also openly given to you. Source code is open to you. So you can look into the internals of the source code and do the necessary changes. Even you are eligible to redistribute your own edition of the same. So support is not provided. This is the situation. So open source communities generally doesn't provide the support. Instead, they give you the source code also. That's what open source. But you see, our company, our team, we are very busy in providing the solutions to our client. We don't have enough time to look into the source code of the technology and understanding it and researching it and fixing the issue and molding the technology as per we needed. That much time we don't have. That's why we always expect the support. Due to the lack of support, we people doesn't prefer the open source technologies generally. This is the reason. So Rosem is identified this. Mr. Rosem started Python Software Foundation in 2006 as Rosem as a president. Python Software Foundation is non-profit oriented organization. It is devoted to, it is dedicated for advancing open source technologies related to Python, promoting the Python and upgrading the Python, supporting the Python communities and Python programmers and everything. So once the Python Software Foundation came to existence, here we have somebody to support. So after 2006, Python got all the facilities like a proprietary licensed software. What all facilities comes with a proprietary licensed software, those all facilities are given by the Python. Then onwards, the software industry started using Python because support is also there. Then onwards, Python become really popular. Okay. For the already experienced people, I am telling this, which is very simple. So Python is nothing special. The scripting languages easiness, procedural oriented programming languages simplicity, object oriented programming languages power, functional programming facilities and modular programming facilities all together. Benefits of all other programming languages put together that become as a Python. So this is what comparison between the abilities of Python and other languages. Automation applications can be done with Python. Data analytics can be done with Python. Scientific applications, web scraping, test automation, test cases, and networking with IoT, admin scripting, GUI application development, gaming, animations can be done with Python. But here web applications can be done with Java and .NET also. Test automation can be done with Java and .NET also. GUI application development can be done with Java and .NET also. Gaming can be done with Java and .NET also. But here you see networking with IoT can be done by Java. Okay, but not .NET. So Python is having more facilities than Java and .NET. But one and only drawback identified as of now, Python is not really become powerful on mobile platform, mobile application development. Of course, Python supports iOS. Python interpreter can be installed on iOS, but not Android. But still, Python is not become as a leader of the this mobile application development. But using web services and these all, even Python services we are using on mobile also. That is web services. And somebody says that Python is slower than remaining languages. Of course, one point of view, I agree that. One point of view, I doesn't agree. Comparatively, C++, because C++ directly generates the hardware understandable executable code. So Python is comparatively slower than C++ execution speed, but comparatively Java and .NET, Python is equivalent in the speed. Once we compare the architectures, Python interpreter execution flow architecture, the C++ compiler execution flow architecture, and Java C#, Java virtual machine, C# .NET framework with the JIT compilers, how it executes. Once we understand architectures in detail, then we will get the clarity. Python is better. Why Python is kept still as an interpreter, that concept we will get the clarity. That I will explain in detail, don't worry. This is just a total story about Python. At end of this story, anybody is having any questions, please ask me. We'll go to installation part. At this point of time, if anybody is having any questions, any doubts, please go ahead. Bhavisri, Muralidhar, Navita, Nagasri, Harsha, Rakesh. I guess all of you good? Understood well?
Hello.
Yeah.
No questions?
Yeah.
So is the Python installed in your systems? Let me know who is not installed Python in your system. Because in my system already Python is installed. So even though again I want to show installation in my system, it gives you repair and upgrade features. Whose system not installed Python? Let me know. We will install Python.
Yeah, in my system it was installed.
Ravi, it is installed or not installed?
It's installed, Srini.
No, I am asking whose system Python is not installed so far. Is everyone's system Python is already installed? Okay. Okay, who is not already installed Python? Simply go to python.org. Python.org is the official website of the Python Software Foundation. So here downloads. So just click on downloads. We'll go to downloads page. The latest version is 3.9.5. 9.5 is also released. See, looking for Python with different operating systems. If your operating system is Windows operating system, go for Windows. In case your operating system is Linux, go for Linux. If your operating system is Mac OS, go for Mac OS and other operating systems also. It supports like AIX, IBM AS400, iOS, OS 390, Sun Solaris, okay, HP Unix, like this, various operating system Python supports. At present, I'm going to Windows. So here you see Python 3.9.5 is released May 3rd. Okay, of course, 3.9.4 is April 4. Anything is okay. You can, in the 3 series, anything you can download. Here, embeddable package. This is you. If you want to embed Python into your environment or your tool, you supposed to take embeddable package. If you want to install, go for Windows installer 64-bit. In case your system is 32-bit, you go for 32-bit installer. So download, click here, it will be download Windows installer. Okay. Just click on this, download will begin. Download it. After completion of the download, double click on it. Please remember, in the installation wizard, very first screen, in the installation wizard, you will get installation wizard. In the installation wizard, very first screen, at the bottom, you will see a checkbox. Add Python 3.9 to path. Please check that checkbox. Please check that checkbox. So automatically Python installation home directory will be configured to environment variable path. This you don't forget. If you forget this, Python will be installed in your system, but separately you have to configure the environment variable path. Okay, that's why very first screen you select this checkbox. Next, install. Automatically Python will be get installed. It is very easy in installation. Okay. If your systems are already installed with Python 3 series, it is well and good. Otherwise, you please download the Python and install it. While installing, very first screen of the installation wizard at the bottom, please do not forget, check the checkbox, add Python 3.9 to path. That's all. Remaining all are just click next, install. That's it. Automatically it will be installed, finally finished. That's all. Once you install Python in your system, you will see, go to Windows menu, start menu. Here you can observe under alphabet P, you can observe Python 3.9. You will get IDLE. You will get Python 3.9 console. This is what Python language. Once you install Python in your system, you will get it. Of course, IDLE is a tool. It gives you facility to work in interactive mode and script mode, both. Otherwise, you can work with text editors like Notepad, Edit Plus, Notepad Plus, etc. You can write the programs, and at the command prompt, you can run it. This much will come when you install Python. I hope, I guess, all of you installed. If Python is not already installed in your system, I hope you are able to install yourself Python. But here we have another thing, that is Anaconda. In whose system Anaconda is already not installed and whose system not installed? Let me know. Anaconda, what's about Anaconda? You people already installed Anaconda in your system? Please interact here.
No, not installed in my system.
Anaconda is another distribution of the Python that is for data science purpose. Of course, Jupyter Notebook, Spider, these kind of tools will be provided by Anaconda. Go to
So like
Google.
Anaconda will be like a package like kind of thing, or it is similar to Python?
No, it's not a package. It's a separate distribution of Python.
Okay. So when we install this Anaconda, it will get merged with the already installed Python, or else it will be separate.
No conflict. You can already install Python 3.9 and as well you can install Anaconda. Anaconda comes with Python 3.8. The same Python Software Foundation Python only. Okay. In
Okay.
Google, search for Anaconda Python, you will see anaconda.com products individual edition of Anaconda. Just click on this. Otherwise, you can go to anaconda.com. You can go to anaconda.com. In this, go to products. We have various products from Anaconda, that is the individual edition, commercial edition, team edition, enterprise edition, professional services. Mostly this is data scientists platform. Of course, an individual edition is free. You can click on individual edition. All the work you can do with individual edition. Just like enterprise edition, all the facilities are given in individual edition. So go for individual edition, scroll down a little bit, click on download. Here you see it is open source. Anaconda package is mainly for data scientists. It is a data science platform. Okay. Jupyter Notebook, SciPy, Spider, NumPy, Numba, Pandas, Matplotlib. These all things, TensorFlow, these all things are for the data science people. Essentially, what all libraries are required, tools are required, those all things are given here. Of course, these things we can't work with in our regular Python. Yes, we can work with, not a problem. But you see, NumPy, you're supposed to install. Pandas, you're supposed to install. Matplotlib, you're supposed to install. Numba, you're supposed to install. TensorFlow, you're supposed to install, right? Like this, each and every package using pip package installer of the Python, you're supposed to install. But these all things are readily available with Anaconda. So if you go to bottom, you will see installation, Anaconda installers. Very simple. Whenever this page is open, scroll down, click on download. You will go to bottom, Anaconda installers. If it depends on your operating system, this supports Windows, Mac OS, Linux. In Windows 64-bit graphical installer, click on this. 64-bit graphical installer, click on this. Download will begin. This Anaconda installation is also very easy. It is not at all complicated. Who will download now? Navita, will you download the Anaconda right now?
Yeah, I have downloaded for Linux, Srini. Hello.
Yeah, it is any operating. Linux installation is little different, Ravi.
Yeah, that's what the .sh file got downloaded. So it like
Yes.
From the like from
Yes,
command
Linux
prompt, is there any specific to download?
user management, home directory management, these all things you're supposed to take care of.
Okay.
Yeah. Mac OS and Windows installation is both are very simple. Click on next. But Linux only makes little difference. You people please download this 64-bit graphical installer Anaconda. Okay. And here to work with Python comfortably, we do work with Python IDE, Integrated Development Environment. Of course, different IDEs you can use. Eclipse you can use to work with Python. And Microsoft Visual Code Editor, Microsoft Visual Studio Code Editor you can use for Python programs. But during our course, we will be using PyCharm, JetBrains PyCharm. So go to Google, PyCharm download. Here you see JetBrains PyCharm download. PyCharm is an IDE for Python. Just open this. Otherwise, simply you can go to jetbrains.com, go to PyCharm. Here you will get the download PyCharm page. Depends on your operating system. If your operating system is Windows, select the operating system Windows, otherwise Mac OS, otherwise Linux, whatever is your operating system. Download the community edition. Professional edition is not required. If you want web development features like HTML, JavaScript, SQL, then only go for professional edition. But professional edition is not free. Professional edition is free trial. You have to purchase the license. But community edition is completely free. All Python developments we can do with community edition. Please download the community edition. Click on download. It will be get downloaded. Of course, the download takes a while. All of you, please download. Then I will show you installation of this Anaconda and PyCharm. Today we'll finish installation of these two. Make sure your system is ready with Python language and PyCharm tool, IDE, and Anaconda installations. Then we'll jump into our regular commands and working with Python. In my system, already JetBrains Anaconda is installed. Anaconda Navigator Anaconda is installed, and also JetBrains PyCharm is also installed. Even in my system, if I again initiate the installation, it will show you the repair and migrate flow. The initial installation flow doesn't come. So in your system, you can do it. Who is download is completed, let me know. I will share your screen and instruct you for installation. So others also will follow the same.
This
All
conference
users,
will now be recorded.
Oh, yes.
All users. Next.
Okay.
Yeah, next. Yeah, default location. Here, don't change any checkbox selection. Click on install. That's all.
Okay.
It will move faster until 80%. Then at the 80%, it will stay for longer time. Don't worry.
Okay.
Automatically, it will. That's all. Installation of Anaconda is that easy.
Okay.
And who is downloaded PyCharm? At this stage, it will wait for a long time. After completion of that, just to finish. PyCharm is already there. It's okay, fine. It's okay. 2018. Okay. Okay, anything is okay. Who is downloaded PyCharm right now? Yeah, this will be continue. If anybody is PyCharm download is completed, let me know. I'll show you the wizard of the PyCharm also. In the PyCharm installation, nothing to do, just click next only, all the default. But yet one, I think third screen or something, it will show you checkboxes, 5 checkboxes. You have to select all the checkboxes and install. Okay.
Okay, sir. Installing Anaconda.
Okay, finish the installation. I will wait. Okay, Shravanti completed PyCharm installation. Good. So basically make sure in your systems, make sure Python is installed and PyCharm is installed and Anaconda is also installed. In Anaconda, mainly we will be using the tools like Jupyter Notebook and Spider, and I'll show you the environment of Anaconda. Mainly for the total course, mainly we use Spider, this PyCharm, and also Spider. Spider is an IDE similar to PyCharm. Sometime we will use this Spider. Sometimes we will be using PyCharm. This, so you'll become comfortable of working with Python, ideally basic IDLE, and working with PyCharm, working with Spider, working with Jupyter Notebook, these all. So in future, any IDE you will be able to work with, because I know the teams, in a team, somebody came from .NET background, so they are comfortable with Visual Studio Code Editor. Somebody came for Java background, they are comfortable with working with Eclipse. Somebody came from Python only, they are comfortable of working with PyCharm. Whatever IDE you are using, you are writing a Python program with the extension .py with the Python source code. So the .py file you are creating, so any IDE you can work, you can develop the programs and integrate together. Okay, so any IDE you can use your comfortable IDE. Sometimes companies says that you have to use this IDE only. In our systems, this IDE is only allowed. So at the time, unavoidably, you have to work with the same IDE. So PyCharm is nothing special. It is just an IDE. Spider is just an IDE. IDLE is also some kind of interface. But Spider, this Jupyter Notebook is a web-based interface. So I hope all of you able to install. Of course, take your own time for the installation. Okay. So today I do stop here. Tomorrow onwards we will begin language directly working with them. Today I do stop here. So by tomorrow you come to the class, you make sure in your system the Python, PyCharm and Anaconda, these three are available. Further, we need not worry about installations. Okay. I think tomorrow onwards, 4 o'clock to 6:30 p.m. India time, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So today I'm leaving you at 6 o'clock only. So please take care of installations. I hope all of you able to do it. Please take care of installation, complete the installation by tomorrow's class. Okay.
Okay.
Hello,
Yes,
Srini.
sir. Thank you.
Hello,
Okay,
Srini.
all of you. Thank you. Thank you. See you
Hello,
tomorrow. Bye.
hello, Srini. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you getting these recordings?
Of course, I will share it in G Drive.
Okay.
For that, you have to wait for 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
Regular basis, we do upload the recordings in G Drive, and I will share G Drive to the participants.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.